Hello everyone and welcome back. So in today's video I wanted to share a new tool that I've been working on called Volume Rays that basically selects the brightest areas of the image and creates this ray effect. You can interact in the viewport with the tool, or you can manually place it by adjusting the center offset, and you can easily animate this. So fit at frame between 1 and 45, between zero point 0.3 and between 0.06 and zero point 0.3. Let's see if that works. So as you can see, it will animate. Of course, you can do keyframing because you have the easing options and it will look a bit better. But there's the option. There's also this option to do flickering that will add a noise to the source. In here, I'm just taking effect only. If I want to multiply a noise or anything um, with the effect. And you can also animate in here the offset of the noise. So at time multiplied by 0.03, let's say. Let's see. As you can see, it will animate the flickering and it will create some nice effects. But again, you can play with it. You have the viewport interaction. Then you select the luminance range, which is doing like a luma key. So it's selecting the brightest areas of the image. You can also resample the image. So let's say by default is 0.3, but it will blur a bit the input. So you can increase the resolution. Let's say to 0.5. You have the iterations, which internally, this is just repeating the pixels along a direction. So you can increase more if you want, but you also have the step scale, which is a multiplier of that repetition. But again, you start to see some artifacts, so it's better to decrease it. And you also have a decay that is just like a fading effect, as you can see. Then you can have this option just to have these default volume rays. And let me increase this. And you can add in here some flickering. And of course you will need to blend it a bit more. And what else? We have some contrast for the flickering. You can play with the noise element scale, so you have big arrays or smaller ones. Again, the offset of the noise, X and Y, some contrast. Then you have some post effects like some blurring, the glow threshold, where it starts, the glow brightness, and of course the blending. And if you tick effect only, you don't have that blending option because you will need to manually blend it. So this tool is pretty fast, even with animation. It's really a simple effect, but it can add a lot of detail to your final renders. So this will work fine on slab comps and whatnot for doing basic compositing. Since Houdini doesn't ship with necessarily with these effects, I thought that I would recreate it and share it for this month's Patreon. So this tool will be available for all the top tier Patreon supporters as part of the subscription. So basically, sometimes I share a tutorial, other months I share a tool. This month I will share this tool for free with the Patreon supporters. But if you are not part of Patreon, you can still get it on my Patreon shop. Of course, for patrons it will be cheaper. So yeah, that's basically it. You can play with the settings, and you have also the option to have different signatures. You can have RGBA, mono, or RGB. You can pick, it depends on the input you feed it. It will automatically recognize. So I think I explained all the settings, and yeah, you can play with it, and I hope you enjoy this tool. And let me just give you a small update on another tool. So regarding the matrix color transform HDA, I just added a UI scale multiplier that you can basically resize the handles. That's a handy feature if you are zooming in or you have a smaller area to sample. And as always, you can sample the defined area and play with the resolution of the image. But yeah, basically if you zoom in a lot, you can decrease this and have the desired handle size. And also, I added a bit the code of the HDA. Basically, before that, I was starting with the shape, then creating a bounce, creating a matrix as I shared, and a difference matrix, and then apply that to the points that I'm creating by dividing the mesh into 24 sections and extracting the centroid, then deforming. But I found a cheaper solution, which basically involves, again, the same add, and then do a bound, sort the points, do some basic UVs from the bounding box, and do the same on this side, and then just generate a grid of points. In this case, I just generated them at the center, and do an XYZ distance from that target position, and then I can just attribute interpolate with the X-prim and the XUV, and you can basically play with it, and it will have the exact same effect, but much cheaper and less work, because I was creating transform matrix and applying a difference matrix, which was just too much. In here, just simple, we create a grid of points, in this case 6 columns and 4 rows, create the column and row ID fitting to the scale of the input mesh. So I'm doing this by numbers, 24, and I just create the point at the center because it will be cheaper. It will be a cheaper operation. Then I can just attribute interpolate, and it will interpolate the position, the UVs, and whatnot. So that's basically what I'm doing inside this matrix color transform. So as you can see, and just loading the colors and whatnot. It should be faster, and it was already fast, but this way it's even a bit faster. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the update and grab the files on Patreon. As always, thank you so much for all the Patreon supporters, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you next time. Thank you.